Hello, can you hear me? Hi Tash, apologize. Let me enable the microphone, allow the cameras. I didn't realize that we were. Okay, can you hear me, Tash? Can you try to speak as well to see if we can hear you?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. And now let me see if I can enable your camera as well, because I think it has been
Yeah,
disabled.
I enabled my camera.
Perfect. Perfect. You're you are
Hello.
on. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining to this meeting. While I'm doing a small adjustment, technical issues, Tash is going to introduce a bit. Let the microphone to you, Tash.
Hi, thank you, Frank. Hi, I'm Tash, known as SM Tahsin. Um, I am the CEO of the WiQU. Um, just a little bit about WiQU. We started this collaboration little over 2 years, nearly 2 years ago. Um, we wanted to do something, share our knowledge, okay, share our expertise, and also wanted to have some engineering fun because we are all from engineering background. And then we came up with the idea of having WiQU. So, and then we believe in one strong statement, which is grow or go, okay, because we're constantly pushing ourselves, pushing our friends, pushing the people we know in our network. Hey, let's learn, let's grow, let's do some certification and take things forward from there. So and then Frank came up with an idea. Why don't we start this training program, learning program online? Uh, and that's what we are going to do, ACP-620. So, yeah, um, feel free to welcome again. I'm not here with any slide, not mentioning anything about WiQU services at the moment now. Maybe in later session, I will do it. But let's focus completely on the certification preparation course, which is for ACP 620. And just to add, just to prepare more, have some fresh knowledge about the certification and the question, Frank did sit for the exam yesterday again, and he passed it. So yeah, we will love to see the fresh knowledge Frank has now. So yeah, I'm handing over to Frank. Frank, down to you.
Thank you very much, Tash. I don't know if everyone can see me. It's a bit complicated because small technical issues. We basically didn't really configure, set up properly the retransmission tool. We were using in the past this solution, the live streaming in LinkedIn, but has been changed a few months ago. So I'm a bit lost with the retransmission. So please, if someone wants to ask questions, if someone wants to speak, uh, Jay is going to help me. Jay is in this meeting. He has the permissions to allow the microphone. Also, he will read the questions and ask the questions to myself, and I can answer to all of you. And let me see if we are, I could say, let me make a meet. Let me share my screen with everyone. And please let me know if you see my screen as well. Jay, Dash, do you see my screen?
Yes, you can see the screen.
It's very small, right?
Yes,
Okay, now how is it looks like?
much better.
Perfect.
Guys, please give a thumbs up if you can see the screen properly.
I think that should be good. Okay, um, just in case I will do a bit bigger. Sometimes I have this issue, the biggest possible. First of all, thank you everyone to join to this session. What we want to do in this session or this list of sessions is basically to run how to prepare the ACP-620. I was reading the last week a bit for this certification. In fact, I am Atlassian certified expert, but I didn't do the 620. I did in the past the 600, I did the 420, I did the 100, the 120, and was missing the 620. Yesterday in the morning, I decided to to try to do myself the 620 in order to prepare this group of sessions and trying to help everyone in this exam basically. And what I want to do is going to be 5 days. It's going to start today. We have a couple of issues, so apologize for all of them. But the main idea is today we'll try the first topic of the Atlassian exam, which is project creation. We will see a bit of the theory of this part, but the most important is we will see what is the exam going to looks like, because we have two certificates. We have 120 and we have 600, and we think the 100 is the most advanced one because contains all the administration of the application, and we think that maybe the 600 is focusing what we can say associate level. But after I did the exam, doesn't looks like that. It's true that both of them takes different topics, but each of them are very specific in different areas. For example, in ACP 100 or 120, while you are focused into the application management, the configuration of the system, Jira system applications, plugins, workflow configurations, automations into the system level, ACP 620 is doing the same, but trying to get the limits of the project administration level. So you need to have a deep understanding of what are your limits as a project administrator, what you can do, what you cannot do, and then also focus into the difference between the type of projects we have in Jira. There is two type of projects, so they make the questions, I would say, a bit tricky in the sense that they want to know if you really know how to use and difference between these two type of projects or type of creation of projects, as well all the limitations of the tool. They are challenging the questions with all the limitations. So you have a very good understanding. You must read the theory. There is a lot of documentation at Atlassian about the theory, but the most important part is how to troubleshoot, basically. How we are going to do the sessions. We will do approximately, please let me know if I'm running out of time, like today. We'll do, first of all, a bit of theory. We'll see the topic. We will check the theory in the Atlassian documentation, what are the key points they are taking. And after these theory concepts, what we will do is we'll repeat those examples in a small laboratory. I'm going to share with you one URL today. Please request access. I will grant for the next 2 weeks access to everyone. I wanted to automate the process, but I didn't have time for that. So we'll give you manually access. So we will do the examples in the laboratory. After we do the examples in the laboratory, we will do exam questions. We will try to see a couple of questions or some examples of questions that they can ask for you about that specific topic. And then I added here half an hour, but maybe it's not going to have a half an hour. Just if there is some additional questions, we will let the time for anyone to ask the questions or discuss some points that we mentioned and it wasn't as the way the documentation say or any type of query. What we are going to have is, I matched the document. This one is exactly as the Atlassian documentation. So let me just open the exam. Sorry, 620. If you go to the documentation as well, sharing the link into the channel so you can have a look them if you haven't yet, but I assume you did. So is that one. In the official documentation, there is a PDF you can download with exam topics are going to come. Open the topic. Basically, I split each section of this for each day we have. The topic of today is going to be recommended scenarios of Jira implementation. There is two types of project creation, as I mentioned. One of them is called company managed. The other one is called team managed. And in between company managed and team managed, we have templates configurations. We have standards of Jira project configuration. We have shared configurations, which is related to the company managed, by the way. As well, we have specific configurations we can do in the team management project, like the level of access, the issue types, the customization into the project. We are going to see those examples. And then later, which is part of the most advanced part in the exam, is the business requirements, when to use which of them. And it's, I think I had on Sunday at least 3, 4 questions about when to use company management, when to use team management, when to use Scrum, Kanban, etc., etc. And the other one is how to general configurations and yes, general standard configurations. The next session, we will see board configuration, but I think in the board configuration, because it requires a lot of customizations, we also will see a small introduction of JQL. I don't want to see each point because we will not have time. We are actually running out of time. So let's start with the first part. Give a scenario, recommended implementation. So for this, I have created one test environment. I'm going to share the link on here. Please feel free to feel free to, it's not here. Yeah, I creating the wrong environment is this one. It's called Jira WiQU ACP. Let me share on the Teams. So this is the link. Please, not now because we will, or meantime, I'm explaining as well. If you can request the access, I will try to grant access to everyone. So we will practice during the 6 days of sessions. Meantime, I'm going to enable the project because I didn't enable. I create the account for service management. It's not part of the certification. The certification is focusing Jira software project management. So I'm going to add the other product. Add to the existing one. By the way, Jay, can you please confirm if there is any questions around the team? Also, if you can enable your microphone because I cannot see the questions the people are asking. Jay over here. Yeah, sorry, Jay. I think I unmute you. Okay, you're on. Yeah, you can speak if you want. Okay, going back to the space. I have enabled the project, the Jira software account, which is this one. And on here we will do the examples, or we'll try to follow the theory. The first chapter or the first part of the certificate was given a scenarios recommended implementation company management. Okay, let me have it here in one side. I'm going to try to explain. Try to explain this one side by side. So when we try to create a project in Jira software, we have this option. Basically, there are software project and service management, if you have enabled service management, of course. This part of the training is going to be focused in the certification, which is software development. And then you have here multiple options for them. You have Kanban, you have Scrum, top level, backtracking. Those are the templates, the project templates related to our type of license. In the exam, usually comes these two. So you can have a look and explore other options, but the most common that you will see are Kanban and Scrum. Let's do the first part. Let's create a couple of them. I'm going to create one Kanban project using this template. In this template, for example, what we have is the issue types. We have the Jira software project, which contains by default, also as part of the exam, they will ask you sometimes what are the default issue types you will have. In the case of Kanban, you have epic, you have story, bug, task, and subtask. Sometimes as well, they ask you about the standard workflow you are going to have, but I would say no more. So let's use this template, which contains this configuration already. Once we select the template, here is the key of the project creation. The project creation, in fact, is not complex. It's just follow a couple of steps. The first one is select the template you want to use. The second step is select the type of project you're going to create. There is two types of projects. I'm going to create both of them just to show you the example, the difference between them. The first one is the team management. Team management a few years ago was next generation project. And the other one is company management. What are the main difference of team management and company management? There is the entire detailed definition on here, but the main difference between both of them is simple. Team manage give the user, the person who is created or the person who is going to be the project administrator, the entire permissions to change almost everything except project key, which is part of the question. Almost everything you're able to change with team management. As well, the limits of the team manage are kind of restricted in sense of the customization. You have the full control of that, but there are some limitations that we will see once we create the project. And in company manage, basically is follow kind of best practices of Atlassian. They have some not templates. They have what Atlassian call schemes. Schemes are features into the project that allow us to customize and configure and also share each part of the configuration as well. We will see those. So let me create the first one, team manage. I will call ACP-620 Kanban project. 620 Kanban project. Good, simple. You have a quick start to see all the features. You can follow one. If you click, they will explain you what is each part of the application. I would say if you are new with Atlassian and you just create a couple of times, I recommend to follow those because we'll show you where are the features, what you can do, what you cannot do. It's very practical. So we have now our ACP-620 team management project. Let's create the other one. I'm going to create another project. So I will repeat the process. In this time, I'm going to select the same template, the Kanban template, but instead of team management, I'm going to use company management. ACP 620. Kanban project. ACP Kanban company management. There in the past, I haven't seen recently questions like the limits, but there are some limits in the characters, and as well, they can came in the question. In the past was 10 characters the limit. Let me just double check if it's still the same. I'm going to test. No, they has changed, so there's no limit. It was a part of the question. So in the 600 I took, they were asking. Now we have two examples. We have in one side the Jira, the project with team manage and the company manage. Want to open and have separated screens. And let's see the difference between them. At the first look, doesn't look different, except the look and feel. Maybe these small columns and you can scroll horizontally the Kanban board. This is the main thing. In the team, in the company managed, we cannot. All the columns will be accumulated, and they will basically reduce the size as you are adding more columns. But this is not part of the questions. What they will ask you in this type of two projects is the first one. For example, we can enable backlog, but when we create a Kanban, never is enabled. If you see in this side, we have all the configurations of the project, we have the timeline, we have the reports, issues, components, but it's a missing piece here. We can enable, we just go to the board setting. This is the company management, and we go to the Kanban board. Into the Kanban board, we can see the columns, and into the columns, we can enable by dragging and drop one status, we can enable the backlog. Let me just show you. And now appear the backlog. I would recommend to practice with that. In the Kanban board, the way to enable the backlog is just by, I will repeat if there is, just in case it was a bit fast. Let me also reduce the screen to make it visible. So how to configure here. We will see in another session how to configure more in detail the board is in the second session. But basically what I did to enable the backlog is just, this is the default configuration. You have 4 columns. And if you want to see the backlog, just move any status into the backlog and automatically will appear the backlog inside. So it's pretty similar in here, but the configuration, configure board, and we will see as well here. No, it's not this one, sorry. Yes, now I remember. We cannot configure the backlog on here. I will double check if we can, but as far as I remember, it's not possible. In the case of Kanban, yes, but you need to enable manually. This is question 1. The second, regarding the projects into team manage and company manage. As I mentioned, they looks very similar, but if we go to project settings, we will notice that there are more things on here in the project side, in the panel, in the left side. There are more things, including components that is missing in the team management, as well releases we don't have in the team management. And if we go to project settings, we will see much more options to customize and configure your project. Let me just go back. Let's do the comparison with the project setting. I would say it's much easier and simple. This is the main difference. You can do more configurations here than here. Which type of configurations you are allowed to do here and you're not allowed in team management. For example, we have automation. Automation is going to come as well part of the exam. We'll have a couple of examples on them. Issue types. This is a key one. In team management, you can add as much as many issue types you want. What is an issue type? I probably know that all of you has been working with Atlassian. You know what is an issue type, but just in case for who just joined and want to see it, an issue type is when you try to create a project, you have the project selected and the type of the process, the type of task you're going to create is what they call issue type. And here we have tasks and epics. This is the issue type. And in a team management, as a project administrator, you can add issue types just by click here. And then let's say I will add story. I can create a new one. For example, I will create an issue type called ACP-620. I can change the logo. I will use this one. And that's it. It's very simple. In the case of Team Manage, I can create issue types as much as I need. I don't need an extra Jira administration permission. While in the case of company management, we have the types, of course. We need to expand issues, and expand issues, we will see those types, but we cannot change them. As a project administrators, we can see them, we can see the dependencies, we can see what those issue types has, what descriptions they have. We cannot modify them, because that permissions is only allowed for the project administrator, the Jira administrator, the maximum level of permissions into the application. If I go to issue types, I can see these configurations because I'm a Jira admin. When I change and I click to edit, I can see that I have permissions to modify everything, and that is because of my permissions. But the normal standard project administrator cannot create this issue type. So questions for the exam regarding this one would be, or the scenarios for this would be, if we have one project managed by business department that they want to add as many issues they want without requesting to the Jira administrator, what type of project you will recommend? So in this case, the type of project is going to be team management. While in another scenario, another question could be, we are defining standards for all the software development team, and all the software development team needs to follow the same process of tasks, bugs, epics, and stories. In that case, the question will be, which type of projects do you recommend? And then the solution will be company management. Any questions? Uh, yes, Gabriela, let me enable the microphone so you can ask. Just 1 second, please. Uh, yeah, I think so. Allow microphone.
I muted her.
Oh, can you enable, please, because you want to ask a question?
Yep, I've muted her already.
Gabriela, can you speak? Oh, maybe I need to make you presenter. Try again. Oh, sorry, that was. Gabriela, can you try again?
Hi everyone. No, I do not have any question. I found the question you spoke about very useful, and I just raised the hand by mistake. But thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Frank, you're mute.
Thank you very much, Jay. Okay, sorry, I was saying that in company management, the other difference compared with team management is the workflows. While in team management, we can customize and modify everything. Let me have a look. Here we have automations, we have columns. If we go to the issues, edit workflow, we can go to the specific issue type we have created, and we can include and modify it easily. I will add another status, let's say. So, and then update workflow. You can say, I want to apply this workflow only for task and the new issue type I have created. And that's it. So they will ask you for what to do with this status. I have created new status. The new status is called in review. So the system will ask me, okay, you need to map this status if you want to visualize in the Kanban board. So I'll do this, and I'm going to add on review. I will move on review into the status and save change. And that's it. So this is the way you do in the case of company management. Just go to the issue tab you want, go on top, edit workflow, and modify that information. That's everything. In the case of company management, we cannot do that. In company management, you have the workflow, and if you are a project administrator, definitely a Jira administrator, definitely you can change. You can modify the workflow into your project if you're a project administrator only under one condition. This workflow is being used only for your project. not for other projects. It's not shared across to other projects. If they are shared to other projects, you cannot configure as well. Let's try to edit this one. As a project administrator, you can update the issue types, and you can, let's do a couple of examples. Review. Allow all the users. As a project administrator, you can add statuses that are in the system, but you cannot create new statuses. As well, for example, in the design of your workflow, let's say you have the backlog status, you have this status and review. You can define, you can draw lines, arrows from one status to the other. Sorry, let me see. I need to save it. Review. That's strange. Doesn't allow me. Let me publish the change and edit again, just in case. What I wanted to say is, in the company manage, yes, you can edit. We having the conditions that there is not any project using the same workflow. You can edit the workflows, but there are some limitations in the edition that you can do as project administrator. One of them, for example, is you can add arrows that for some reason doesn't allow me to add the arrow. Let me see if I can do this one. No, doesn't allow me to add arrow. You can add arrows between statuses, but you cannot customize each transition. For example, to go from backlog to review, from review into select development, those transitions have some properties. For example, to block the edition into the issue is a property we can enable in the status. If we click on the status, we can block the edition because we don't want no one to edit that in that particular status. We can include as well validators and conditions. All of these configurations you see here, you will visualize the numbers, but you will not be able to change. As a project administrator, you are limited to do this type of changes. Let me go back to the project and continue with other couple of examples about limits of the configurations and the difference between project team management and company management. So we see that the issue types, you can change everything you want in the team manage, you cannot change in the project manage. Notifications, you have those notifications as well. You can add and remove notifications. In the case of company managed, you use what is called scheme notification. And the scheme notification, you can select and use a different scheme, but you cannot create and modify the scheme notification, which means you can choose if it's any scheme notification that can suit to your to your project, you can just select them, but you cannot create. That as well is part of the question of the exam. If you are able or not to modify a notification, if you're a project administrator, that definitely will come. Let me see which other type of things that are going to come. Screens. Screens, similar. Each issue type, when we talk about screens, let me just open one ticket to see if I can show you what I mean with the screen is the next. I will open one project. I will open one, I will create one ticket for this example. I will assign to myself. So I have this ticket or this issue. I don't, it's a story. I have this ticket. There are a couple of information I can visualize. Example, the description. I can edit and visualize as well the summary, which is this one. I will say you need to memorize at least what are the standard default fields. Some of them are summary. The other one is description. As well, you will have in the right section other fields that you can hide or, for example, you have in detail section, you can see all the fields, even if they don't have value. For example, labels doesn't have value, but you still see the field labels. In the other side, you have more fields. When you don't complete or when those fields doesn't have value, they are not visible, they are just high. You can expand and see them. This is part of the question. So the other difference between the company management and team management in the exam is going to be focused around this part, how to configure these screen configurations. As far as I remember, there is another section in the 4th day that is only focused in the screen. In project management, yes, we have one specific for components and this the layout configuration. We will see more detail this part. I don't want to explain more, but just to give you some ideas. So there are differences we will see in the coming days about these two projects. But the main thing is you have more control in the team manage as you have less control and more shared configurations in the company manage. And as well, you have other question that I recently heard about is when I create a project, which is a team managed in the Jira, when I create a Kanban project in team management version, can I change it into a Scrum or questions related to that? The answer for that is we can create multiple projects, but I cannot change. Let me show you this one. I'm going to do now the next type of project, the next template, which is a Scrum. I will choose team management. I will do ACP-620, team manage Scrum. Team manage. The other question is, can we change? Can we switch? I have created one project. My project is a team manage Kanban. Can I change into Scrum? I can't. The simple answer, if you're working with team manage, when you create the Kanban, is Kanban forever. When you create the Scrum, is Scrum forever. So how you can move tickets from one to another? Solution. Let's do the example again. I'm going to create a couple of tickets in this project. Sorry, create the first one. I will create the second one. I will create the third one. So I have created my tickets in here. So if I want to change my project from one type, this is Kanban, I create Scrum, this is Kanban, and I want to move them into Scrum because those are Scrum projects, I cannot do it. I cannot just change the project. I will need to move my ticket as part of the question. How you can move those tickets? You may have multiple options. As a ticket, you can just click, open the ticket, go to move, and then select the project destination. This is one way to do it. Select, I create a ticket in Scrum. I want it to be into Kanban, so just go to take Scrum and move it. I can map the type. This is one solution. As well, you can answer that, but they will ask you for the best solution. If you have thousands of tickets, at least 1,000 of tickets, how to do this action? So the answer for that is bulk. You can do the same operation, but in groups, not a single one. So going back to my project, I moved the ticket. As you can see, Scrum team now is in the correct Scrum team. If I go to the Kanban, I will see there are two tickets. How to do bulk? To do bulk, you need to basically go to view all issues. I would same. Tomorrow we will see from the beginning to the end a bit more in detail how to do the filter, how to do the JQL or basic filtering. In this one, we'll just select the project we wanted to move and do the bulk. Here we have Team Manage, which is where I created my tickets, these two. And bulk is just an operation we have in the right side, which means click on here, bulk, change tickets, and then select all of them and move it to your target project. I'm going to select move issues. And here you repeat the same step as we did in the previous. So we'll select the Scrum. I'm going to select the task and then move. The other question you will have the exam is when you move the tickets from one project to another, which data you're going to lose or which data will remain. I think those we will see in the JQL session because it requires the fields and we need to see the fields details, but keep in mind that we will see this part. So we have this question is, can we create a Scrum in Team Manage and then later change? No, we cannot do it. If it's Team Manage, is Scrum or is Kanban from the beginning until the end of the life of this project. But it's a different story if we talk about Company Manage. In Company Manage, you can create a project in Kanban or Scrum, but the project is a container of tickets and the board, which is the Kanban, is just a sub-filter of the project. So in Kanban, in Company Manage, you can do this and more. For example, I created this project, which is Company Manage Kanban project. I can just add another board. I will select Scrum board. I will say related to this project. I will call Scrum ACP 620 company Scrum board. And then we'll select the same project, which is company manage. So I have the project. Also, here we have the location. The location means where do you want to display the link of this new project. I will select the same. I'm creating a new board with all the tickets or tasks from the project, the company managed project Kanban allocated in the same project. So you create a project. Once you have the project, so that means you have a Kanban board, which is this one, but you have the other view, which is the Scrum. Doesn't have any difference. The Jira project contains the data, and the board is just a filter or sub-filter of the information you want to display. We will see more details in the board configuration about how to customize Scrum, how to customize Sprint, how to customize the timeline, backlog, and the limitations of the boards into company manage. And let me go back. Yes, let me see which else can be in as part of the exam. Going to the Kanban, team manage, and the project team manage. So we have the team manage, we have the project. Yes, as I mentioned, we don't have in any of the versions Kanban or let me see, this one is Scrum. We don't have components and we don't have releases. As you can see here, in both versions, in the Kanban or Scrum in Team Manage, you have the list of tasks, you have the Kanban view, you can customize add columns, you can have the timelines, which is basically your Gantt view, but you will not be able to see components. What is components? We will see later, but just give a small advance. Component is a way to automatically assign the ticket into a person, a specific person. We can have one or multiple people. We can have one person assigned to a component, and we can have multiple components. So when a person creates a ticket and they use a component value, I don't have any component now, what will happen is automatically they will be assigned. So and it's a specific topic as part of the exam. May will come 3 or 4 questions related to components. As well, in terms of reporting, is much more limited. In terms of reporting here, we have bar up, bar down, bar chart. There are multiple chart reports. I would say, please, anyone who is interested to follow these sessions and go to the next and have data, please create your project. Once you have access to our test environment, create your own project. I will give you admin permission, project admin permission. Have data into your project because in order to analyze the last topic of the course, which is reports, we need to have data. If we don't have data and we don't create data in time, the analysis of the report is going to be low or limited. So in order to have them, let's try to populate data. On Wednesday, what I will try to do is show you some data, and I will let you to add some additional data. We have 50 minutes. So what I want to do now is I want to switch to all of you to ask me questions about the project creation. If it's something that we will see later, I will let you know. If it's something related to a project creation, we can have a look and we can test and validate all together. So anyone has questions until now? Anyone has something wants to see, review, validate, or something that I explained but wasn't clear enough? No? Okay, so seems no one has questions. Perfect. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to enable. Can you, all of you, please try to log, at least today we can grant you permissions into this into this environment, and tomorrow we can assign you a couple of tasks and examples as well. Let me share with you one link I created this afternoon. The idea of this session is to be practical. So some of you will follow in line, some of them will follow the recording because we will share the recording as well. For the people who cannot join in line and cannot ask the questions, can still access to ask anything they have, any type of doubts. For those, I have created a LinkedIn group. Let me share with you the LinkedIn group, and please add all your questions on there. I will try to answer you soon as I can. It's not just me, also you will have a Tash, Choose, which are also Jorge, which are experts in the Atlassian, and they can definitely support all your questions. This is the group I have created. Please feel free to join to the group and ask any questions you have. Do you want to enable the microphone, Jorge? It seems easier. Let me make you center. I think you were asking something.
Yeah, I was writing just to ask or maybe try to validate one thing. So, hello guys, thanks Frank for the information, the really helpful information that you're presenting here. Yeah, my question is related to the project key length because I was trying to review that and validate it, and indeed, at least in the class and documentation related to the cloud environment, there is still the 10 characters limitation. So if you can just to review it again or try to validate it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just to make a double check about that point.
Yeah,
But the
definitely.
rest of the things, or well. Thank you. Thank you, mate.
Thank you very much. Yes, first I remember it was the limit, but you can see limit. Yes, still. Okay, I didn't display before. I don't know why I didn't display. I did example, but yeah, I remember this one. It's a tricky question, or maybe will not came. It's not often to have this theoretical question, but if it does, just remember it's 10 characters. Thank you very much, Jorge. Confirm it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
So as I said, please join to the group. I will share the link into the group. I will share the link into the post of this event. Let's try to get access. I will give a Confluence public page into the group so you can review. I will let at least a couple of exercises related to the topics we saw today. And some examples of questions, and we can review in the next session. We can discuss about that. The idea is not just me talking. As I mentioned, my main goal of this training session was to practice together and do the learning process together. I did exam yesterday without thinking to pass. I was just wanted to see what they are planning to ask for, and in fact was similar to a previous exam I did. So was kind of easier. So I want to have a more interactive session. If you want, feel free just to ask and reach me on LinkedIn or in the group, and let's try to get the certification. Thank you much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Frank. I have a quick question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
We got some time anyway. We talked about we didn't talk about dashboard like in detail. Could you
Dashboard is going to come. Dashboard
Is it?
is, yeah. The reason is because I want to take let me share the screen and
So the
see.
question was because we can't change Scrum to Scrum or can't
Yep.
change Scrum to Kanban to Scrum, but we can do bulk transfer of all the issues to one project to another project. What about
Only in
dashboards?
team management.
Only in team
What about,
management, we can't do.
yeah, what about dashboard? It's a good question. Dashboards are just doesn't exist in as part of a project, just as advanced, because we will see the example, but just at advanced. Do you see my screen, right?
You're not sharing anything. Yeah.
Sorry.
it's- it's-
Give me a second, because I think by mistake I stopped to share in LinkedIn. So let me retransmit on LinkedIn as well. Okay, now. So now let me share my screen here as well. What I was saying is, good question, Jay. Can we change the dashboard's location? The point is, projects are a container of tickets, and you have two types of projects. You have company managed and team managed. In team managed, you cannot change the type of project. They live as they are. In company management, the projects, they don't have a type. They are not Scrum or Kanban. You create them at the beginning as a Scrum or Kanban, but they can have multiple boards in the same project. Dashboard is another separated topic. Dashboard is basically, you have your projects, you have filters, and in an initial feature of the solution is what we call dashboards. And dashboards is just an entity separated from the project. I'm going to create example dashboard project. We can make it in the organization, editable by projects. So we have created one dashboard. Let's see. The dashboard is example dashboard project. So I have created this dashboard. The dashboard is just a container of gadgets. I can add one gadget, I can add another gadget, and the gadget can have information based on different factors. For example, assigned to me means all the tickets that I've been assigned. If I am assigned in one project, I will see only tickets from that project. But if I'm assigned in multiple projects and I have permissions to see those tickets, I will be able to see multiple projects here. So dashboard doesn't exist as part of a project. Dashboard is a separated entity that contains multiple gadgets, and each gadget can have data related to one project or one filter. For example, here, I can add one gadget, it's called bubble chart. And add one gadget here, which contains the bubble chart of this particular project, but I can add other bubble chart, the same one related to another project. I selected Scrum, and I will select Kanban.
So you can add multiple projects in under the same dashboard.
Yeah, it's basically because the dashboard is just a collection of data related to a filter or some extra configuration. So they have direct dependency. You can add as much as many project data into a dashboard as you want. A part of the exam is not going to be the dashboard itself. It will be the gadgets. We will review some of the key gadgets that the exam is going to ask you. But the part of the exam, the other thing they're going to ask, and very often they do, is the share permissions. All the elements you create, like dashboards or filters, they have permissions to share. You can visualize yourself. They will ask you what is by default the permission, and then also we'll ask you what you can do with those permissions. If you can modify, let me see if I can show you again this permission. Was the trash configure? Let me create another to show you what I tried to say. When you create a new dashboard, you can set who are going to be the viewers of the dashboard. You can set who are going to be the editors of the dashboard. For that, this is part of the exam. They will ask you basically this type of questions. What you can do, who can see. Case scenario question on the dashboard side will be, the manager of the project A has a dashboard where see 50 tickets. Then the manager of the project B have the link of the same dashboard, but doesn't see 50 tickets. Instead of that, see only 20 tickets. Why that can happen? This is a typical problem of the exam. And the question is simple. Because the dashboard contains multiple data for multiple projects, maybe the manager of the project A, where they can see here 50 tickets, and the other one only see 25 tickets, is because the other one, the manager of the project B, doesn't have the same permissions to see the other projects the other manager has, because it's a shared information place. That answer your question, Jay?
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much to you. I think that's it. Anyone else has more questions? Anyone else wants to see something specific regarding project configuration or something I didn't do clear enough? If it's not, thank you very much, everyone, for joining to this session. And I hope I see you in the next one. And I apologize for all the small issues in the transmission. I will try to reconfigure better for the next session. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. Good day. Bye.